being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly. And therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
I officially have white liberal fatigue. I am annoyed with y'all. Y'all get on my daggone nerves. I'm gonna be real with you. Y'all get on my daggone nerves. It's like y'all get upset that you see somebody like myself who's black, and because all you know about black people is oppression and slavery, nothing good about black folks. It's a lot of good. A lot of good about black people. You read your history outside of slavery and oppression, there's a lot of good within the black community. So there's a whole lot of good. But you guys don't want to see the good within us. And for those of us who are wanting to do better, want to think better, think outside what we were told and what we were taught as kids, it's like you guys come out of nowhere and send these stupid memes and gifs of like racist slurs. And you know, you all keep screaming, white privilege doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But it exists to you white liberals' mind, because you guys have the audacity to keep reminding us of what we were and not who we are. I'm over y'all. You guys are actually upset that black people don't want to be oppressed anymore. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry, we don't have the neck collar leash for you to just drag us down the road. No, babe. Those days are gone. And we're calling you guys out. Yeah. Because in the word it says, do unto others how you want to be done unto you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. In the way how y'all treat people who are black, who are no longer Democrat, you treat us like trash. Which is why we are calling you guys out. You guys are racist. And I'm done being nice to y'all. I'm done. And you're going to hear this truth. You'll keep on hearing it. And keep on hearing it. And keep on hearing it. Because you guys are not entitled to no one. And we don't owe you anything. And stop expecting for us black people to step in for you. Because it makes you feel good. And have your hands clean. No, Bookie. No. Us blacks who are walking away from the Democrat Party, that is our right and that is our business, because we want better for ourselves. And you all do not have that right to tell us otherwise, because you just said so, like you are our slave master. Ciao, bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for returning back to the Social Pulse for the Social Pulse perspective. I wanted to create a video just capturing the essence of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, where we had a couple of Minnesota protesters on Sunday, January the 18th, decided to disrupt a Christian worship service on the basis of the pastor either being a part of ICE, supporting ICE, or having some kind of connection or affiliation with ICE. So being led by an attorney and activist, I guess they assumed that this was the right thing to do. I like to talk about one of the laws that is right now being used against them. It's called the FACE Act. So this is an updated extension of the old Enforcement Act of 1871, often called the KAY Act. And I think you guys can pick it up from there. But the legislation was originally created to stop the racist terrorist organization with those initials that normally targeted Black, especially Black and Jewish, and sometimes Mexican Americans, and anyone who dared to worship or gather in peace against what they were trying to create. I guess they felt as if they were trying to create an environment and protect their people in the same way where these protesters are fighting to protect a group of people as well, or just everyone in general. No specific person, but just anyone who was in the country, whether legally or illegally, documented or undocumented, however you want to say it. But that's what they are in the process of doing. So the irony is that both groups, this bill was created to prevent both groups from committing the action that they did, which was to violently, and violently meaning disrupting. No one was hurt, thank God, but just going in abruptly, disrupting a worship service, a sacred place. This was hands off to the group for the where the Enforcement Act was created back in 1871. And the irony is that here we have another group that is supposed to be protected under that law is committing the same behavior that the law was created for. So two wrongs don't make a right. It doesn't matter what your intent was to do it. It's not a good thing to do. You don't disrespect someone's place of worship. That's almost like just going into someone's house because you don't like the way they park their car. You don't like the way they treat the other neighbors. You can't do that. This whole peaceful protesting has taken on a whole new definition. I haven't seen peace in the protesting yet. Maybe there's some people that are shouting, ranting, holding up signs, and making their voices known, which is what I know a protest is supposed to be. I've held up signs before in a similar fashion, but not one time did I think, let me go further and cause harm or antagonize or agitate those that I was protesting against. That's not peaceful protesting. And we can justify it in our minds, but it still doesn't make it right. It's really sad and disheartening when we get to this point. There's an activist and attorney, Nikema Levy Armstrong, and the independent journalist donlemon, wanting to jump in and get his journalism, out there. And you could say this mob of protesters were either paid protesters or paid to agitate. There were a huge, very angry mob that disrupted the service, went to the front of the pew or the stage, however you want to say it. I'm not sure what type of church. I know it was a Christian church, but I'm not sure how it was set up. I did see the action, and I will show a clip. But they were very angry. It was just a very negative, atmosphere and vibe. Nothing that said, hey, you know what? Let me listen to these people that just barged in here doing my worship service and see what they have to say. Let me listen to them. Nothing about what they did was going to have any kind of positive effect. I don't know what they were thinking and how, but you don't get any good response from bullying. And that's exactly what it looked like to me. It just looked like you were going in, bullying people, trying to have a relationship, with their relationship with God, with practicing their spirituality, whatever they were doing. They could have been praying for everyone out there. They could have been praying for the very people that barged in there. We don't know. But the point is, all of this, ironically, during the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, who led the civil rights movement and was also a preacher. And I don't believe with all my heart that he would have agreed or been part of any kind of decision making that went into this. I'm not sure why the attorney felt this was justifiable. I'm not sure, how much research went into how effective this would be if this was just an emotional decision, made, in an effort to march for whatever you thought of all the wrongs that have been done by ICE, that this was going to reverse that. Not at all. It was wrong and evil when the 3-letter K group did it during the civil rights movement. And it's still wrong, whether it's a liberal based mob or conservative based mob, it doesn't matter. It was wrong and it was disrespectful. And no matter how many things ICE has done that you feel is disrespectful, disheartening, whatever, it doesn't justify the behavior. That's my perspective. We have to look at this with reflection. If we didn't allow the protesting and marching to cross the threshold into the house of worship, then we shouldn't allow it now. And many of our octogenarians, who lived during that time, when those their worship services were, threatened, their churches were burned down, they still carry a symbolic history of the days when that was frequent. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are still alive today. And when they see this example, I can only think that they are just looking at what's being done and hopefully praying for our society to get back to balance. Because this is one of those things where you just can't make it up. You can't make it up. So anyway, got a couple of clips to show you all. Want you to go through, and if you feel the desire to express your comments, express your perspective in the comments, if everyone, when you post, please post with your own view. Please be respectful. Please don't bully anyone into taking a certain stance. If you agree with this, then you agree with it. You have a right to. If you don't agree with it, you have a right not to agree. Let's not shame anyone or make anyone feel bad, regardless of our view. State your comment, your opinion. And again, I just ask to be respectful for it. We all have a right to have our voices heard and have our own perspective and our own opinion. And with that, thank you again for listening. Please like and subscribe and share if you so desire. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people?
I believe that if someone professes to represent the gospel of Jesus Christ and to preach it, that they should not be allowing ICE agents to drag people out of their homes, cut women out of seat belts in their cars and drag them out, bust down doors, bust out car windows, bring people out half naked in the freezing cold to detain them, taking trophy pictures with Black men and others that they've apprehended in their homes, scaring children, tear gassing children and families, almost killing a 6-month-old through the use of high-powered military-grade weapons such as flashbang grenades and very strong tear gas. I mean, these are real things that we're dealing with here in the state of Minnesota. It's delusional to pretend that these things aren't happening.
Protesting the ICE deportations for the past few days. Besides the fact that I got paid $150 to do so per day, I kept seeing signs everywhere that this was being funded by somebody much higher than the person that I had met.
For instance, they would give us certain streets or certain targets to go to, and on those streets, there would be pallets of things that could cause destruction to the community. I am not joking. For instance, you turn a corner, boom, there's a pallet of bricks. Oh, that's convenient. Let's destroy the community. And y'all know me, I'm a good guy, but I truly do not care that much about the ICE deportations. I just wanted that $150 a day. But I got to thinking, man, whoever is funding this must really hate this country. So as time goes on while we're protesting and things evolve, they evolve in a lot more violent nature. For instance, instead of there being a pallet of bricks on the target neighborhood or target street that we are protesting on, it'll be a pallet of flammable objects. So it was at that moment when I saw that pallet of Molotov cocktails sitting on the ground, I thought, man, should I really be doing this? Like, this is bad news. This is going to get way worse. Now, I'm not from Los Angeles or live in Los Angeles, so I don't really care about destroying that community, but I'm American after all. Like, this is not good. Moral to the story is there are certain people in our government that wants us to go burn the local police station down, but in actuality, the corruption is at a much higher level.
I just got offered $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th, we're going to be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous. Me as an American, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's not very American. It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even, worth the time, but, $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest. The corruption is up here because it goes way beyond these organizations. They want to destroy America, and, people like me that need money are gonna go do it. I'm not gonna go do it, but people are gonna go do it. They're gonna go destroy, the city and cause chaos. It's just crazy that, they're even paying people to go do this.
Those entities entering the church to do a protest, this is just the beginning of stuff. However, I've been told y'all that this immigration situation is highly spiritual because they chose to do that at a Christian church, not a Hindu temple, not a mosque, not a Buddha temple, not one of those Scientology nonsense, not one of those Satanist temple. They decided to do this at a Christian house of worship. I saw earlier today how someone was also saying how they were fearful of leaving the house because of all of the immigration activity that's happening in the street. So you won't leave the house because of federal officers doing the job that they signed up to do, right? Because federal officers don't only deal with people that's here illegally, but they also deal with people who are trafficked here, drug operations who are trafficked here as well. But you're having anxiety about leaving the house for officers doing their job. But I'm assuming you don't bat an eye when these protesters who are disguised as protesters, they're really paid actors, many of them, these entities who are storming the house of worship. Law enforcement who also have the decency to wait till a person gets out of a house of worship and not to storm inside of a house of worship. But these are the same people who are silent about that. What was that black girl? Her name is Dakar or something. That was that was taken off this earth by someone who was illegal, or the hundreds of thousands of children that are still missing till this day because they got here illegally and they crossed the borders. No, that don't bother you. That's not giving you anxiety.
These people are walking in, these people are bringing chaos to people's city. The crazy part about it is it don't even be the people who are here illegally that be tussling. It's people who ain't got no time. Like, obviously, these people don't got no jobs. They come across borders, they come across state lines to cause chaos and division. Be very discerning and be very careful what you agree with.